Welcome everybody to Kai Talks NFL, the channel we talk about everything related to the NFL. And today we're going to be seeing, or at least what I think, players who are going to have a breakout year next year and players who kind of going to have a bad year or career-ending year. Not like injury-wise, just because of their play. So I would say let's get into it, but I have one quick thing to say. The next couple videos are going to be pre-recorded because I'm trying to upload daily again. So probably the next 5 to 6 videos are going to be pre-recorded as of today. I changed my clothes, I promise. I'm not weird. But yeah, that's just a little heads up. So hopefully you guys enjoy. First player who I think is going to have a breakout year is Justin Fields. Something just tells me that he's going to have that kind of Ohio State-ish Justin Fields back. We saw it at the beginning of the season. He actually did really well. He got 5-something wins across however many games it was. I think he did really, really well. Russell Wilson came back off injury, and then it kind of just, he never got the chance again. And when Russell Wilson played, I think he went like 0-4 or something in the last couple of games. So, something just tells me Justin Fields is going to stay with the Steelers offense, like I said in the last video. And I think he's going to lead that team to maybe even a deep playoff berth. A player who I think is going to do bad is Stephon Diggs. Something just tells me he doesn't have the productivity he used to, like he was in Buffalo or even Minnesota. I just feel like he hasn't been playing consistently wherever team he goes. I just don't think he'll be the #1 guy there. And something just tells me he's not going to be the guy that we all think he is. Next player who I think is going to break out is Tucker Kraft. Something just tells me that this guy, he had the best career year that he had last year across 2 years. He's only gotten better, almost doubled his stats, and got 7 touchdowns, 707 yards, and 50 receptions last year. Something just tells me he's going to play that big kind of #1 target for Jordan Love role next year. And I just think he's going to play very, very good. Next player who I think is just going to not have the year that we think he would is Travis Kelce. Something just tells me the last couple of years he's kind of been declining in stats. Last year was his worst year statistically. And I just feel like Mahomes is going to mainly use Worthy or some of those other receivers. And I feel like Kelce, he's on the edge of retirement right now. I think he is going to play. But something just tells me this year, after this year, no matter what happens, it's going to send him in retirement because of kind of the year that he's going to have. Something just tells me he's not going to be the Travis Kelce we always knew and love. Not me, really, but some people, I guess. Next player who I think is going to break out is Bryce Young. If you guys saw the year that he had last year, post-bench Bryce Young, he was elite, man. He was one of the best quarterbacks, I would say, in his division, with a very kind of competitive quarterback division, I guess you could say, with Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins at one point, and even Michael Penix. I feel like Bryce Young played very good in that back half of the season. I just feel like once he got his confidence, he just lit it up, and I think he still has that confidence, and I think he's going to play very well next season. Next player who I think is going to do bad is Russell Wilson. I think this is it for him. I think we saw at the back half of the season, and including the playoffs, Russell Wilson looked like Broncos Russell Wilson. So ugly. Although when he first went in the game after injury, Russell Wilson looked really good. It only got worse from there, and I think it's just over for Russell Wilson. I'm probably going to look back at this and maybe laugh at myself, but I do think it's going to be over for Russell Wilson. Next player who I think is going to break out is Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is not a safety. The reason why I think this is because we saw the year that he had last year. We saw what he did in the Super Bowl. I just think there's no way he does worse or he doesn't go. It's only up for Cooper DeJean. I just feel like he's going to be a pick machine next year. I feel like he's very good in coverage, and I think very good tackler as well. I saw him tackle guys like Derrick Henry last season. Absolutely slammed him. I feel like he's a very good physical, good coverage, pick machine cornerback, and I think he's going to be very good. Next player who I think is going to do bad is Deebo Samuel. He's my boy. Love him. Niner for life, even though he's not going to be with us next year. I just feel like Deebo Samuel, he'll be like a wide receiver 3 kind of guy. I just feel like nobody's going to use him how he wants to be used almost. I feel like he works so well in the 49ers system. I just don't see him in any other system doing what he did in 2021. I just feel like he is not going to have old Deebo back. I feel like he's kind of on the decline of his career. Next player who I think is going to break out, which is also a 49er, Brandon Ayuk. What tells you that he won't? Brandon Ayuk had one of the best years he had 2 years ago, if not the best year. He looked like one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yeah, he had kind of a decline, but he also missed all of training camp and all of the OTAs and things like that. I just feel like if he attends all the things that he needs to, gets back locked in after that injury, something tells me Brandon Ayuk is going to be back to his old form. Next player who I think is going to have a bad year is Sam Darnold. I feel like it was a little insanity run. I don't know. Something tells me it was a 1-year stretch and Sam Darnold's going to be back to the way he was. He's probably going to get traded to a place like the New York Giants. Yeah, I'll probably have a guy like Malik Neighbors, but what else? I just feel like he is not going to be the kind of guy people expect. Might look back at this and be like, what are you saying? But something just tells me, my instinct, that Sam Darnold is not going to have the year that we think he does. Next player I think is going to go off is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Statistically, he had the best year of his career. He literally doubled all of his stats if you look at it. And he had 6 touchdowns last year, 100 receptions, 1,130 yards. And with probably Tyler Lockett leaving and things like that, and DK Metcalf kind of not playing the role that maybe people expected him to, I just think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to really step up as that number 1 guy next year. Speaking of a Seattle Seahawk, Tyler Lockett, I think he's going to have a bad year next year. Statistically, worst year of his career. Did not do anything at all. It's kind of hard when you're surrounded by DK and Jackson Smith and Jigba. But I just feel like it's almost over for him. He's getting old, you know. I just feel like he's not going to have a very good year. Next player I think is going to break out is J.K. Dobbins. He did really well in that Chargers Jim Harbaugh system. And something just tells me, why wouldn't he do it again? Next player I think is going to do bad is Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. Something just tells me. I don't really have a logical explanation for you. It's just an instinct, honestly. Next breakout player is Micah Parsons. I think it was a slow year because the Cowboys did bad last year. The Cowboys as a whole did bad last year. Micah Parsons had the worst career year, but I think he's going to pick it back up. And we're going to see who this 2021 Micah Parsons and 2022 and 2023, all this Micah Parsons come back. That was a slump year, and I think Micah Parsons will be back. And the last player that I think is going to do bad is Tyreek Hill. Once again, statistically, worst year of his career last year. Something just tells me Tyreek Hill is getting old, and maybe somebody else like Jalen Waddle or Jonnu Smith is going to take that role. I just feel like Tyreek Hill is not going to play like we think he is next year. That is also it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know. Any support helps, and I will see you in the next video, even though I'm filming it probably right now.